more, and we have to do it faster, because every day we wait, they're suffering, they're crying, and I believe right now many of them are praying that we would respond. But how are we really going to respond? Because I ultimately also believe that this is what we're called to do. And what is calling me, and in my opinion, the best definition is an urgent and divine invitation to accept responsibility for a particular task. But the question is, will we actually accept the responsibility of caring for these boys and girls and truly protecting them, or are we just going to continue to talk about it? Because there's so much we can do, but the question is, will we?
And this next video is true is because of how easily deceived the world is, because of the principalities of darkness, the fallen angels, people in the pride and lust of their mind, not following the word of God, just like people are deceived with NASA evolution and NASA space, everything science, Big Bang and genetics. We don't know whether biologically what a male or female can be defined as. These little things in this next video prove why there are hundreds of thousands of kids being abused, stolen, trafficked, sold, mutilated, millions aborted. Watch, you'll see.
Problem is that the number now is not 57,000. With all of the work that all of these people and amazing law enforcement agents and nonprofit NGOs are doing all around the world, the number is not 57,000 like we said 2 years ago. It's over 89,000. We are losing the battle and we are losing the war, and boys and girls are suffering for it. And to give you an idea of the scope of what's happening in America, there's a red dot map right over there over my right shoulder, and that's just a 6-month screenshot of the US. And every red dot that is on there is someone that is downloading, sharing, or distributing child rape images, almost all under the age of 12. And there's over 330 of them just in that 6-month screenshot. And we know that 55 to 85% of them are also hands-on offenders, and we know that your average offender has 13 victims in their lifetime. The scale of harm right here in America is to a certain extent hard to comprehend, but that's why we're here. And when you knock down one of those doors, you also have no idea how many boys and girls you're going to find. From Operation Renewed Hope 1, one of the doors that was knocked down, when they went in and seized his computer, they found that he also had raped 30 other boys and girls in that neighborhood. So there's a lot of work to do. And Ranking Member Durman, you're right, we have to be able to act. A little over a year ago, I was at one of our protection centers, and a protection center has extra security because there's still a bounty and a price on these girls and young women's lives. And I was walking through the counseling rooms, and I walk up to one of the counseling rooms, and it's this beautiful couch, and it's got teddy bears and toys and children's books in it. And right behind the couch, there's a window. And right behind the window is the wall, and it's the edge of the protection center. I look up to the top of the wall, and it's the razor wire all the way around the top. And I'm just looking at this picture, and it's a surreal picture because inside, those girls are going to be cherished and loved and protected and cared for. But on the outside, they went through an earthly form of hell. And I'm standing there looking at this picture, and one of our team members comes and whispers in my ear as I'm looking at this picture. And he said, "Man, isn't it such a thin line between tortured and treasured?" And he was right. It is a thin line between tortured and treasured. And you are that thin line. And all of you are that thin line. But we have to have more people on that line, and we have to do a whole lot more, and we have to do it faster. Because every day we wait, they're suffering, they're crying, and I believe right now many of them are praying that we would respond. But how are we really going to respond? Because I ultimately also believe that this is what we're called to do. And what is calling me, and in my opinion, the best definition is an urgent and divine invitation to accept responsibility for a particular task. But the question is, will we actually accept the responsibility of caring for these boys and girls and truly protecting them, or are we just going to continue to talk about it? Because there's so much we can do, but the question is, will we?
No amount of money justifies subjecting our children to sexual abuse. No amount of money justifies sextortion of children on these platforms. I don't care what Facebook's market cap is today or tomorrow. I don't care how much money Google makes next quarter. It does not justify the degradation of American children. Not now, not ever. And this body has a moral obligation to stand for that principle and to vindicate it for every parent and every child in America. It is why we are here.
What's that? Let me see it. Okay.
Mr. President. We have about 5 minutes remaining in the majority's first hour, so I just want to ask you some questions related to the crimes committed by Mr. Epstein and Ms. Maxwell.